Good evening, everyone. This week's Parsha is Parshas Lech Lecha, Tavshin Pei Aleph 5781. So the Parsha begins, V'yemer Hashem al Avram, Hashem said to Avram, Lech Lecha, go for yourself, Me'aretzecha from your land, Me'ladatecha from your birthplace, Me'beis Avicha from the house of your father, El Haaretz Asher Eka to the land that I will show you. I shall make you into a great nation. I shall bless you. I shall make your name great. You shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you. I will curse those who curse you. And all the families of the earth shall be blessed through you. And Avram went as Hashem told him to. So this is the first of what Pirkei Avos describes as the 10 tests that Avram was put through. The first one is basically the first time we're really introduced to Avram in a sense of not just knowing he was born, his genealogy as in the end of last week's Parsha, but actually in doing something. And that first thing is to leave his father's house, to go to a land that Hashem says, I will show you. And that's considered his first challenge, his first test from Hashem, to bring out who he was, to show his loyalty, to show his love of Hashem. Now, all the commentaries ask, if we read what Hashem tells him go for yourself from your land, your birthplace, house of your father, to the land that I will show you. Typically, that's not an easy thing to do. But if Hashem says all these blessings, I'll make you a great nation, I'll bless you, I'll make your name great, I'll bless those who bless you, etc. If Hashem tells him that by leaving, you're going to gain so much, so what's the challenge? Maybe a little bit of a challenge, but how much of a challenge could it be? Sure, it's hard to leave your birthplace and your home, but if you know you're gonna make it big by doing so, it's not really much of a challenge. So how are we to understand the challenge of Lech Lecha? And more so, Rashi tells us, Lech Lecha, go Lecha, go to you. That's a literal translation. Rashi says it means go for you, for your benefit. Hashem tells him for your benefit. If it's for your benefit, so how much of a challenge could it be already? So there's an answer brought down from the Sfas Emes, and he explains like this, that Adam's test really was that when Hashem tells him, leave your birthplace, go to a land that I'll show you, and I'll give you all these blessings. The test of Abraham was, why would he be doing it? What was his motive to do it? Would he do it because of all the personal gain that he has from it? Or would he do it because Hashem wanted him to do it? The test was not because it was hard to do. The test was, would he do it solely for the purposes of fulfilling Hashem's will, or would there be some ulterior motives involved? And after all, Hashem told him, I'll bless you, I'll make your name great. So the test wasn't the leaving as much as what would be his motive for leaving. What were his intentions for leaving? Was it because of personal gain, at least at some level, or was it solely about doing what Hashem wanted him to do? And the Torah tells us, Vayelech Avram, and Avram went, Kasher Dibur Hashem, as Hashem spoke to him. It says this Sfas Emes, those words, Avram went as Hashem spoke to him, means to say that why did Avram go? Kasher Dibur Hashem, as Hashem told him. It was because he did what he did solely because of the fact that Hashem told him to do it, not because of the blessings involved. That is the Sfas Emes' explanation. Now, I'd like to add something to this, and that is that, if you read the words of the pasuk, it says, "And Abram went as Hashem told him." So it seems to me that those words don't necessarily convey that he did it only because of what Hashem told him, only because it was Hashem, only because Hashem told him to do so. It says he went as Hashem told him. I mean, Hashem told him the blessings too. Those words itself could be read as He went as Hashem said. I went as Hashem told me to go and to get the blessings. But I think what the answer is that essentially these words, Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, that he did as Hashem told him, are superfluous. The pasuk that just said, Vayelech Avram, and Avram went, which means we would have known he went based on what was described before. He didn't need to say Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, because we know he's going because Hashem told him. Even if he's going for the blessings, he's only going because Hashem told him. So if Avraham was just going based on what he said before, it just has to say, and Avram went. We don't need to have to say Kasher Diber Lav Hashem as Hashem spoke to him. It's obvious. And therefore, those words actually mean to come to say that Avraham went. Why? What was his motive? Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, as Hashem said to him. If it was just based on what was everything that was said before, it didn't need to say those words. Just say, Vayelech Avram, Avram went. The fact that now the Torah added the words that Avram went, Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, as Hashem told him to, then those words, as Hashem told him, are trying to say that was his motive. Because it was as Hashem said. It was because Hashem said so. So that would be a way of just adding a little more explanation to this Sfas Emes' explanation that the test of Lech Lecha was what was going to be Avram's motives in leaving. Was his motive to fulfill the will of Hashem? Or would some ulterior motives in some part, maybe there was ulterior motives involved because of the blessings he knew he was getting, that was a motive for him to go. Now, I'd like to suggest, again, working with this approach as of the Sfas Emes, perhaps a little bit of a different explanation to this. And that is that according to the Sfas Emes, we'd be saying that Avram was told about the blessings, which are the reward he would receive for what he's doing. He was told about the blessings, and the pasuk and the Torah is telling us the blessings weren't on his mind, so to speak. It wasn't about the blessings. It was about what Hashem wanted, which we would interpret to mean that the blessings played no role. It was all about the fact that Hashem told him. That was it. That was the whole motive. But perhaps we can say something else. Perhaps we can say, as I said before, the way that we know that Avram was doing what he did, l'shem shamayim, solely for the sake of heaven, for the sake of serving Hashem, are from those extra words, Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, as Hashem spoke to him. But it's also possible that those words, Kasher Diber Lav Hashem, as Hashem spoke to him, and we know that the blessings were part of what Hashem spoke to him, can still be part of what Avram was doing, but it wasn't about himself. There were no ulterior motives involved. Rather, we have a concept. Pirkei tells us, do not do a mitzvah with the intent with the intent of getting reward, but do a mitzvah without the intent of getting reward, which is what we call serving Hashem out of love. So when you do a mitzvah, the highest level, serving Hashem out of love, is not doing the mitzvah based on the rewards you're going to get. The reward is whatever. Hashem wants to be rewarded. That's whatever. My focus is, this is the will of Hashem. But there's another way of actually making a combination of the two. It is possible that when you do a mitzvah, you're doing the mitzvah and you're doing it for the reward. The reward is in mind, but it's still out of love. It's still completely about, for the sake of Hashem, not about you. And that is because, for example, let's say somebody wants to give you a gift and you don't want to take it. You don't want to take it. You don't like being a taker. You don't like taking gifts from people. You don't want to be a taker. But this person really wants to give you the gift. So why do you take it? You take it to make them happy. For your part, you would do without it. You would do without it. But you're taking it to make them happy. So you're taking a gift, not for yourself, but to give pleasure to somebody else. The Rebbeinu Shalom wants to benefit us. And the whole purpose of the world was to create a world that Hashem would be made to, that Hashem would benefit, that Hashem would do good with. And the ultimate way of getting good, the way to get to the ultimate good is mitzvahs, Torah mitzvahs. So Hashem gives us mitzvahs because he wants to be able to shower us with good. So it's possible that you could be doing a mitzvah for the reward, but not because you're gaining, but because you're giving nachas, giving pleasure to Hashem. You're doing something that now allows Hashem, so to speak, to do what he wants to do, to shower you with good. So it's possible that you can be doing a mitzvah for the reward, but not for you, but rather to give nachas ruach, to give pleasure to Hashem, to give Hashem, so to speak, to allow Hashem, so to speak, to do what he really wants to do, which is to shower you with good. So here too, Abraham knows about the reward. He knows about it. And the question and the challenge, as the Sfas Emes says, was, would he be doing this solely for Hashem, or were there some thoughts for himself? And the Torah is coming to testify that Abraham did it solely for Hashem. But when he did it for Hashem, and he did it as the pasuk says, and he did it as Hashem spoke, it means he did it as Hashem spoke to him. He did it with the rewards that Hashem said to him. But he wasn't doing it for himself. He was doing it to give pleasure to Hashem. He knew that Hashem wants to give him all these blessings, and it would come about by leaving his father's land. So he's doing it all for Hashem. He's leaving for Hashem, and he's even having in mind the rewards, but not for himself, but because it's what Hashem wants to do for him. So there are two. It's the same. Like I say, it's the same approach as the Sfas Emes, but the point would be that Abraham did it in a way. Abraham was doing it even with the reward in mind, because that's what Hashem wants to do. And Abraham wants to do what Hashem wants. He wants to do the act that Hashem wants, and he wants to give Hashem the pleasure, so to speak, of rewarding him. I'd like to offer another explanation here. And again, on the same approach of the Sfas Emes. But let's take a look at these blessings that Hashem tells Abraham. He tells Abraham, I'll make you into a great nation. I'll bless you. I'll make your name great. According to commentaries, Hashem is Hashem just telling Abraham, go, and you're going to get tremendous reward. Is that what Hashem is telling him? The commentaries say that part of that, what Hashem is telling to Abraham, when he talks about, I'll bless, make your name great, is the fact that Hashem is telling Abraham that when you now, Abraham, where he was living, in Haran or Kasdim, he brought many people to believe in Hashem. And now when he's going to Eretz Yisrael, Hashem is telling him, you're going to be even more successful. I'm going to make your name great. Then people will be blessed through you. What he's really telling Abraham is that when you go to Eretz Yisrael, you're going to be more successful in what you've been trying to do to bring people to Hashem. You're going to have even more success. And actually, these blessings are not just telling Abraham you're going to have more success. But what he's really telling Abraham is that your mission is going to grow. Your ability to do what you're supposed to do is going to grow. And it actually is meant to tell Abraham, your mission will expand. I make your name great, means to say your influence will expand. You'll have greater influence where you're going. Now, that can be seen. So that's really giving Abraham, to a certain degree, he's giving him a charge. He's telling him, I'm giving you more capability to succeed in what you're meant to do. So Hashem is not telling him, I'm rewarding you. Hashem is telling him, Abraham, you're going to be more successful now. Your name is going to be great. People are going to listen to you more. People are going to honor you more. For what? And what's the point of that? The point that is to say to Abraham, you're going to be more successful. You're going to have greater ability to do your mission. That's really telling Abraham what his mission needs to be. I'm giving you the ability to expand what you've done. That's what Hashem is primarily telling him. Hashem is telling him, you're going to do more. I'm going to expand what you can what you can do. So perhaps we can say that Abraham's test now is that with knowing all those blessings, that's clearly a blessing. It will be great. People will be a blessing. That itself is something that can be taken as personal gain. So the test was, would he take these blessings, at least in part, as a personal gain, as we said before, or would he take these blessings as the directive of his mission, of the way of telling Abraham that now you'll be able to fulfill your purpose even greater. So you can hear these blessings, your name will be great. You can take it two ways. You can take it as your name will be great, means to say your influence will expand, and that Abraham is being told that you have even greater things to accomplish. So Hashem is telling him, go from your father's birthplace, go from your father's house, leave your land, so that you can be even more successful in serving Hashem. Or you could take it as, or in some degree, as a blessing, as a personal gain. So when Pasuk says, Kasha diber lev Hashem, Abraham did as Hashem spoke to him, means to say that when he left and he was told to leave, because when he leaves, his name will get greater. Abraham did it as Hashem said, because Hashem was telling it to him not as a blessing, as a personal gain, but as telling him that you'll be even more successful. Your mission will grow. Your purpose will be fulfilled. Your purpose in life will truly now be fulfilled, will be fulfilled at such a greater level. That's what Hashem is telling him. How would Avram look at those blessings? Would he look at them to some degree as personal gain? Or no? He looked at it as Hashem told him. Hashem told him these blessings to let him know that he will be even more successful in serving Hashem. And that's the purpose of going. So when Abraham goes, he goes as Hashem told him. Hashem wants him to go, and he goes knowing that Hashem blesses him so that his mission will expand, will be more successful, and that's what he has in mind. He has in mind when he leaves, I'm leaving this land to what Hashem wants so that I can serve him even greater. Because that's what Hashem is telling him. You'll be able to serve me at an even greater level than you've been doing now. That's what all these blessings were about. So Avram's test was, would he take those blessings as, again, his way of understanding that his mission will expand, he'll be able to serve Hashem even greater? Or would he see it more personal? The Torah tells us he went as Hashem told him. He went with everything in mind of what Hashem said. Hashem wants him to go, and that Hashem wants him to know that his service of Hashem will grow even more and even greater. And with that knowledge, Abraham knows what his mission is. I'd like to share with you now another thought that in the words Lech, Lecha, which we say means go for yourself, which means leave your father's land. Lecha, to you, Rashi says, for you. There are other meanings and messages that lie in these words, Lech Lecha. That was part of what Hashem was telling him to do as he was leaving his father's house and about to embark on on fulfilling his life's mission on an even greater level. And Rabbi Shlomo Zevin, Zechariah Livracha, brings from the Sifrei Kabbalah, from works of Kabbalah, that when Hashem told Abraham, Lech Lecha, we take those words literally. Go to yourself. Go to yourself means go to who you are. Delve deeply into the root of your soul and look deeply into yourself. Go to you. Go into yourself. Delve into yourself. Look deeper into yourself. Look at the root of your neshama, of your soul. Recognize who you are. Rabbi Zevin explains this to mean that Avram is being told that he needs to recognize what his capabilities are. Who is he? Now that he's embarking to Eretz Yisrael, he's embarking, as we said, to truly fulfill his mission in life and to grow and be to who he really can. At that time, Hashem tells him, go into yourself. Delve deeply into yourself. Look deeper into yourself. Understand yourself better. Recognize who you are. Because when a person recognizes who they are, then they don't pass up on their capabilities. If a person doesn't delve deeply into who they are, and they don't recognize who they are, then they're not going to fulfill their purpose. They're not going to bring out all their potential because they don't recognize who they are, all their potential. And we're responsible for maximizing our potential and our capabilities. We're always told to look at great people and be inspired by them. But our responsibility is to be ourselves. And this is brought out in a beautiful, famous Hasidic statement given by the great Hasidic Rebbe Rabbi Drasha of Anapoli. And he said the following. He said that when he comes to heaven after 120 years, if they ask him, Zusha, why didn't you grow as great as the Baal Shem Tov? I'm not going to be scared of that, he said. I'm going to have a very easy answer. I can't be the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not in the league of the Baal Shem Tov. I'm not afraid of that. If they say to you, Zusha, why didn't you become like the Maggid of Mezerich, famous Hasidic Rebbe? He's going to say, but you can't expect it to be as great as that. But when they say to me, Zusha, why didn't you become Zusha? Then I'm not going to have an answer. The point of the story of his statement is that Hashem doesn't ask us to be more than what we are, but he certainly wants us to be who we can be. And that can only happen if we recognize who we are. But that could also only happen if we try to be who we are and not someone else. There's a big problem that people face. And that is that they look at other people and measure themselves by others. If it was what someone else is, then that's the way I should be too. Now, sometimes that could be a source of inspiration. You see someone else doing something, maybe I can do that too. And that inspires you to grow. But it can also frustrate you because you try to be someone that you're not. And to try to just live life like somebody else because you want to be like someone else, then that not only doesn't allow you to really appreciate who you are and bring out your potential, but it frustrates you. So Avram is being told, Lech Lecha, go to yourself, delve into yourself, understand who you are, realize who you are, realize the responsibility is to be who you are and not like somebody greater than you are. And you're responsible to be who you are and not to live your life based on who's but someone else's. And this idea is brought out in a very beautiful comment that was given by the Kutsk Rebbe, known as Rebbe Nachum Mendel of Kutsk, famous Hasidic Rebbe, lived in the 19th century. And he said the following. It's called here. This is brought down in a Dvar Torah from Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Weinreb. And this is a famous saying, but this is where I found it and I saw it. And he says that the Kutsk Rebbe put together a fascinating epigram. It goes like this. If I am I, because you are you, and you are you because I am I. We had a little bit of a pause there. I don't know if you got the whole thing. Try it again. If I am I because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. But if I am I because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then I am I, and you are you. That's a beautiful epigram. It's so truthful. And Rabbi Weinreb brings down this other paragraph. I don't know if it's meant to be the paragraph from the Kutzker or from him, but it really sums it up in a very beautiful way. If I cannot be myself, if I cannot be myself, if I am merely imitating you, that's just blind conformity. I have to find what is unique in me, what are my God-given gifts and talents, and I must express them. Then I am I and can achieve my life's mission. But as my focus is to be someone else, then one will not recognize their uniqueness. They're not going to recognize their God-given gifts and talents and not fulfill their mission. So this is what Avram is being told. Lech Lecha, go to yourself. Recognize who you are. And recognize it because that's the way to fulfill your mission. Because your mission is to be you and to bring out your capabilities and your potential. You're not meant to be someone else. You're not meant to be the Baal Shem Tov. You're not meant to be the Maggid of Mezerich. And you're not meant to be your neighbor. You're meant to be you. And when that's our focus, we can be ourselves. And we can fulfill our mission in life. Have a wonderful Shabbos. Thank you all for listening.